players, rhaegar here for another video. Today's video is a RPG a day video. Today's video is the, I think, 15th in the series today, and today's question is longest campaign you've ever played in, or thereabouts. Now this one was actually quite an easy question for me to answer, because there aren't a lot of long-running campaigns that have been involved in, because I've only been playing in RPGs for, give or take, about 2 or 3 years now. I can't put the exact date right on the top of my head, but it's around about that time. But I have been involved in a few campaigns, and one of them in particular has definitely been the longest in terms of sessions played, in terms of consecutive hours put into the campaign with the same amount of people pretty much throughout. So, easy one to answer. Although, I suppose I should mention that technically I have joined a campaign and done a few sessions in that campaign, and that campaign was running for something like 30 years. It has like a roster of characters, but I've only actually played a few sessions in that campaign, so it doesn't really count. But just for the sake of being accurate and above board with you guys, that also was a bit campaign. But the one with the more sessions I personally played in is the Pendragon campaign that I've told you about many times, well, not many times, but quite a few times before on this channel, and I've been having a great time with it. It's run by a very talented GM. Now, as the GM has told me as well, that he is, because he's run this company before, he has changed things around, so this isn't the Pendragon that you may be used to if you have played it yourself as you're watching this. He has introduced different things at different points. Some characters appear earlier in the sort of the Arthurian legends than they would normally be, and some appear later. I think where we are up to now, a very famous round table knight has started doing the rounds, called Percival. He's a very interesting chap. But you know, I thought for a little treat, because I'm a generous guy, and I've had a bit of a unfortunate run in Pendragon. It's not been, for my characters, it's not been the most successful campaign for me. I've had a lot of issues, I suppose, in getting a good grounding in the game. Like other players have gone off and done wondrous things. You know, glory abounds for them, but my characters seem to have unfortunate fates. But as a treat, I thought I would share with you my characters from the campaign as we are up to so far, to give you a little idea of what Pendragon's like, and to see how the game kind of works through the legacy of your family line, which I'm going to get to in a second. I'll just get my character sheets out. And this little beauty is where I keep all my paper character sheets. So, let's see, you can hopefully see this in a second. So I'm going to start with the first and work our way to the more recent. Sorry, it's quite a lot of characters. Now, as I said, I haven't had the best run in the campaign myself, and this is because in Pendragon, part of the game is it moves sort of in real time, in the sense that the years of the campaign do move as you play through the sessions. The timeline shifts on and on and on, and you know, the world changes. The people come, people go, and your family. So you don't just play your one character. You play a family. You play the descendants. You play the sons. Sometimes the daughters. You uncles, nephews, nieces. And for me, I had a lot of problem getting children. Believe it or not, I had a lot of problems, because you build up a family tree, your characters can get married and give birth, and they can die in events, certain events, winters, harsh winters, and such things can lose children. And I had a lot of trouble with that. As time went on, I kept losing kids, so my pool of playable characters became very tight, and sometimes I had to like play uncles of sides of the family I didn't even know existed when I first started. So, my first character was Elias of Dinton. I don't know if you can see that pretty well, but we started in the time of Uther in 485, and this character survived to 493 when he perished fighting in a blood feud. When I had in an early tournament, I kind of accidentally crippled a guy, and his family took it a bit personally and sort of came after me. And I don't know if you can see sort of his the stats. You've got like size, dex, con, appearance, your main stats. You've got things like your like knightly kind of personality traits, being just, you know, valorous, that kind of thing. And you've also got things down here. Passions. Passions are things you can invoke on to improve a skill if the passion is relevant to what it is you're trying to do. Very useful, but also kind of dangerous, because if you fail, you can screw things up pretty badly, I might add. And also the funny thing is about Elias, he started off having a passion very low for Uther. He didn't really like him very much, and every time I used that passion, he pretty much criticaled it. So when you critical the passion, it automatically goes up by 1. So he ended up with a loyalty to Uther of 12, and it started something like 5, like really low. He really loved Uther in the end. He thought he was a great guy. Now if I can just find the next character. Okay. I think I'm up to date, right? 3. Just up. Right, so the next guy I played was Hector, and he lived from 4893 to 496. And this is the problem I had in the campaign, is my characters had a tendency to die very easily compared to other people's. And this is not because the GM was being nasty to me, it's just because in Pendragon, if a character gets a good hit on you, no matter how well skilled you are, they can kill you in a single blow if it's a really palpable hit. And that's what happened to me more than once. And when we fought nasty little beasties, big creatures like giants or huge bears, we would roll what we call the randomizing roll, whereas basically the monster can only attack one of us. So the other one's going to get a free hit and sort of whittle it down and try and fight it off. But one of us is more likely going to get hit, and that person who gets hit is probably going to die. And that was me all the time. Well, Hector, he had an impressive, he was very good with the sword, extremely good with the sword. And he also lived through some of the times of anarchy when Uther was not around and it was just warring kingdoms. And we also went to Wales at one point and did Beard's Leap, which is some kind of witch story, I believe. Interesting. It was a very good time. So after Hector, 493, 6. Then it was, this guy. I'll get him back. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll get this. Yeah. I think that's what happened there. Right. Yeah, Valen was next. Valen. Give him a strong name. Strong name. He lived through the years of 496 until 501. And Valen was a very strong character. I really enjoyed playing him at the time. We were spending a lot of time at that point travelling around different lands in England, not necessarily adventuring through there. And he made friends with an elf at one point, I believe. So he got some nice elven armour, which was very useful at the time. There's also the point, one of my most regretful deaths in role-playing history, when we went to Denmark and tried to take on Grendel. And we managed to get rid of Grendel's mother quite well. We worked well. But Grendel got very upset about those actions and came after us and unfortunately pulled my heart out from my chest and ate it in front of me. Which was fine. But afterwards, the King of Denmark pretty much gave every character anything they wanted. A boat, one of his daughters, castles, titles, all sorts, and I just died. I even named my horse Hope, in the year we went to fight Grendel, because I was losing a lot of horses that year. Yeah, so that's 3 characters down already. Okay, I believe. Okay, so yeah, next I was Balin. Balin sounds dwarven, doesn't it? I started to give my descendants and uncles and aunties strong names from different things that I enjoy, books, films. Sometimes Arthurian-based twisted names just to fit in with the setting as well as when I could. But I felt stronger the name, the more chance I'll survive. And this guy was extremely loyal to his lord. And he was very talented. He was getting quite good with the greatsword before he perished, because unfortunately Balin only lasted 2 years. I don't know if you can see that. Only 2 entries. 502 came in at end of 501, but he technically started 502, and then died in 503 at the Battle of the Beige, which was some rogue knights causing mischief, raiding towns. And I even had a squire called Alfred, and I thought I had it made. That's 4 characters down. Yep. So now, this character is one of my more successful. And as I've said before, I'm not really an artist or anyone talented with drawing, so my kind of shieldic heraldry was not the best. Right? You know, we all have problems. This guy was called Roland, which I'm going to admit, based off the Roland Deschain from the Dark Tower series. I thought, there's a man who's good at surviving. At this point, I was like 2 or 3 characters up on other people who were good at surviving. And he lived through the years 504 up until 513 and was killed by a giant, unfortunately. Just as he was becoming a well-known bard, infamous bard, I had a tendency to fumble my extremely high playing skills in court in front of extremely influential people multiple times. Fumbly. And this character is the character that saw Arthur pull the sword from the stone. He was there when Arthur became the king. So, very important character. One of my most successful. And I believe he also managed to win the favour of an elven prince who gave him a potion which would help with his help with his childbearing. The winters were very harsh on my family, as I said. So I had a lot of children from this guy. Still quite a few died, but managed to do quite well. And this is an early version of my family tree. This is the thing about pen drawing, you can't really get an idea of how good pen drawing is from like one session or one shot or several sessions. It really shows itself in the long haul. In the kind of 20 sessions in, when you're playing your 3rd descendant and you're seeing how they're interacting with the lords who were descended from people you used to know. It's really cool. And how people come in and change the status quo. That's good. So this guy was called Caboth, and he lived from 514 to 515. If you can see that there. And yeah, again, not very good at keeping these characters alive. Oh yeah, this guy died trying to rescue Merlin from the bottom of the little lake, one of the laser lakes, and then shenanigans happened, and Guinevere was in trouble, and he died trying to save him with the rest of his team. And he really quite liked Guinevere as well. He died for him, so he died a true knight, Arthur. Yeah, so another dead character. So he's stacked it up, and this is over about 2 and a bit years of real time has passed as we've gone through these sessions. Okay. Now, this character is known as Uthren the Brown, because Uthren may have, in a very important battle, fumbled his valour which is like being brave and, you know, against great odds, fighting on. And may have kind of like fumbled it and fell off his horse in front of a lot of big influential knights, and not like a coward. Awkward. Very awkward. And he really hated the Saxons because of this. I think we were fighting Saxons at the time. So he was a cheeky chappy. And unfortunately, he only lived 2 years, from 517 to the 518. Oh, died at Baden Hill. A very, very difficult battle in the Arthurian legend. It's a battle that takes place over 3 days. Very difficult to survive. And all our characters died. I mean, I'm not proud of this, but it's a common thing in that scenario that your character's going to die, because it's just non-stop for 3 days, and in game time that's a lot of combat, and it just munches everything up. But, you know, I moved on. Yeah. And after that character, I played for the first time a female knight. Now the events, I don't know how in the traditional Pendragon campaign if this happens, but we as players managed to change the rulings of what it is to be a knight over time. So eventually, female noblewomen, unfortunately peasants were not allowed, female noblewomen could become knights. So I eventually played Isabella, one of my stout-hearted, tough as nails lady knights, who was very good. And this is when I started trying to specialise in a different weapon group to the rest of the players, to try and, because most of the time you use swords. Swords is like the standard kind of weapon you use in Pendragon. I started going with the flail because the randomizer kept killing me. I thought I'd play the odds my own way of it, because in the flail you do extra damage to anything that wears heavy, like knightly chainmail armour. But on a roll of a 1, you hit yourself. So I kind of thought that was funny as I'm playing the odds against myself. So yeah, Isabella lived from 519 to 525. So not one of my longer living knights. Yes, and this is one of the characters that was killed by a dragon. Just before we killed the dragon, for the record. Yeah. Oh well. So yeah. Great character. After that, we get close to modern times, as we are in the campaign. This leaves only 2 characters. I believe, anyway. Yeah. This is Martin, son number 1 of another character. And he lived for quite a while. And he actually became... This character I'm very proud of, because this character became a round table knight, and that was one of my big goals for the campaign. I couldn't get married to a noblewoman very well. I couldn't get children very well. I was very bad at keeping the children I did get, but I wanted to get on the round table at least once, because to be a knight, really have the round, the glory, the honour, and I managed it with this. This character made it. Finally made it. Yeah, and he lived from 526 to 537. And this guy died to, I think I've told the story in a previous video, he died to a tournament blow. Only like a few weeks ago, maybe at the start of these August videos. I think I told this very recently. He died in a tournament to a round table knight who was using rebated weapons. Not his full strength was put into the blow, and he killed me in 1 hit. Yeah, at Cornwall. A tournament in Cornwall. Awkward. Also, perhaps the most loyalist knight that I ever had as well. So, and finally, my most recent knight, Anguish. Anguish is currently still alive, and has only been around for 1 year, 537. And is not the most honourable of knights, unfortunately, nor the most valorous, or the most glorious, as in new characters, glory does make a difference. People recognise you and get on the table. But he does have partial plate, which is a big deal, guys. Partial plate keeps you alive. So, there we have him. And I think somewhere I have up-to-date-ish. So, like, I don't know if you can see that's my sort of family table as it stands around about now. If you see any of the crosses, that's people that have died recently. So yeah, my ability to create a legacy is still awkward. But that's my current character. That's gone from 2 years ago nearly, right up to date. Played that guy last Thursday. There you go. So, I hope you've enjoyed me sharing my Pendragon characters with you, as I've enjoyed talking about it to you, and I hope you will see me again, or come visit me again tomorrow for another video. Until then, guys, take care.